After one or two interviews with John High, and he was very good at explaining to us how the design build process worked. I think it took us about 2 meetings, and we felt a good comfort level and decided. So that was about 2 weeks from the initial contact with Bobbitt. But we had been looking at other groups for months until we ran into Bobbitt, and once we talked with them, we just had a good comfort level, and they certainly have delivered. Brian Griffith and John High would visit with us once a week. We would have meetings, and I'll tell you, Brian, being married to a veterinarian, had a lot of good insight into what we needed in the design process. It was so easy, though. We would tell him, okay, we want a room here to do this, and he could change that on the plan almost seamlessly, and was very receptive to what we wanted in the process, and also gave us good insight into what we needed in the process, to the point where, I mean, he was very easy to work with. The other thing I want to say is that at some point I had a bypass towards near the end of the design process, which took about 6 months. You know, and for 3-4 weeks, I couldn't even think about it. Well, they were very good about that. They backed off, and we got back at it just as soon as I was able to, and they were very attentive to that. So I can't speak highly enough of Brian and John in their working with us. And in the end, we feel like we got a great product, and very happy with what we ended with. I'm running a business. As we were designing this process, they were very respectful of my time so that I could be at work doing what I needed to do in order to build this project. The other thing is, you know, it's a big difference between putting something on paper and actually building it. Chuck Howe, actually, he was great to work with. You know, every time there was an issue, you could tell that Chuck was personally involved in it, and he was rattling the cages to get people moving. You know, all around town, every time I was asked, who's building this building for you? Because they're sure moving this project, and really, the time scale on this project, they fit right into what they told us they would. And John Williams, the site manager, I can't say enough good about John. Every time there was an issue we had to deal with, John was right there and helped us through it. Very easy to work with, very open in explaining, okay, we're having a problem with this, and this is why we're having that problem. And those things mean a lot because, you know, not being a construction person, I don't understand a lot of what goes on in the nuts and bolts of the construction industry. And he was able to translate that to us so we knew how the project was going, why this wasn't happening at a certain time, and what was going to happen. So we're very happy with the project manager. In my career, actually I've built 3 hospitals, this being the 4th one, and the scale of this project actually exceeds the other 3 that we had built. But I gotta say, in working with Bobbitt and the size and scale of this project, it was so much easier than any of the other 3 we had already done. They just were so hands-on with us and very explaining of everything that we dealt with in the problems and issues of building a building this size, that it made it so much easier.